What on earth is that? It's a Journey into Comics Network production! All aboard!
I brought my pencil. What do you wanna do with your life? Walk on home, boy. Yeah. Like anything gets to say like you did before. Make it ring, make it bleed, make it real.
What's up, Tutorinos? And welcome back to Rank 'Em All, the collaborative podcast where we take a look at our favorite artists or band, their entire discography, and we rank every one of those songs, which gives us the album rank. Of course, we are here today. We are smack dab right in the middle of the Metallica discography. We got a whole load of songs to talk about here today.
I see what you did there.
Yes,
Wow.
I surely did.
Very nice.
Wow.
And we're about to introduce you to the Rank Masters here today. I am Brando, and of course, joining me, the host of the Brews with Deuce podcast, the Dungeons with Dudes. Of course, the Surveyor of Doom himself, Nick Maxon.
What's up, everyone? How are we doing today? Sunday fun day.
Sunday
You
fun.
know it.
Hitting
I'm
it
excited
nice
to do this.
and early. Also here today, he is the host of Podcastrophe and 30% Reviews. He is the least qualified OBGYN in the nation, Dr. Dongo himself, Dick Tyner.
Hey, everybody.
I think I said that yesterday. At the
Not only am I
That's so good.
qualified, I have no qualification.
And last but not least, he is the podfather of the Journey to Comics Network, Nate Phillips.
Hey, I'm alive, you guys. How's it going? How's everybody?
We're alive.
I'm alive as well.
Thankfully, we have all four of us have survived the year that is 2020.
Yeah, and a rager that was Tyler's party last night.
Yes, it was a rager. Indeed, it was awesome. It was good to see
It
everybody.
was Hitler twice.
I
I
heard,
was Hitler twice. That is real.
I heard. Unfortunately, I had to leave right before that. I would love to have played that with you guys. However, today, my friends, we are taking a look at Load from Metallica. Now, we just got done doing the Black Album, which, I mean, a lot of people say that's when they sold out. Metallica sold out on the Black Album. Well, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. However, the music industry in itself was changing around that time. And basically, when you go and look at that early 90s era, there's a couple albums, specifically one band that got huge that changed the music industry, and that was Nirvana.
Absolutely.
Nevermind came out, and then after that, you had all the other Seattle bands. You had like Pearl Jam, and then you had Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains. The taste and the genre of rock kind of changed. I mean, Dick disappeared into his background for a second, into his hair, like into his own heritage. It kind of freaked me out. His shirt, it's black, so it's kind of like.
I noticed that.
Sometimes you just get lost in your heritage, man.
I noticed like one sleeve of mine was like disappearing, so I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna turn the other light off.
That's got to go on the band name list. Lost in the heritage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. He's like, grab my phone. Let me type that out right now.
Yep, we can't forget that one.
But the emergence of grunge and alternative rock really changed the scene. It really killed all the hair bands immediately. They just all died. But all the other bands, it's kind of funny. Metallica changed their tune a little bit with the Black Album, still being pretty heavy. Then going into this album was released on June 4th, 1996. So a full 5 years after the Black Album, this album came out. And everything had kind of changed. They had been on the road for 4 years straight, and the entire industry had changed. It was time to do something different. They could have done just like everything they've already done before, but how successful would it have been? And here's a cool question for you guys. Were there any really true successful thrash bands in 96 releasing albums?
I'm not really familiar with.
Yes, I will say one band.
One
Testament.
band. Testament was around. Yes.
Machine Head would be the other one I would think of, because that was right before they stayed true thrash until about 99, and then they did that album where they went to nu metal, which was really strange, and they went right back to their old ways after that one.
Well,
album.
it's funny because all four of the big four Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax. Around this time, not necessarily in 96 proper like Load, but Metallica was doing something different. Megadeth was about ready to release Cryptic Writings. That was different. Slayer was getting ready to start new metal because around 96 you had Korn coming out. Limp Bizkit was right around the corner. All these other bands that were like in that kind of genre. Slipknot was about ready to hit it big. Mudvayne was around the corner. Like all these bands. And then Anthrax is doing their rap rock thing, ready to go into new metal. Everybody tried something different to try and stay relevant with the changing of the times, to try and keep their stuff going. Now, you could just keep releasing the same album over and over again, like AC/DC, and still sell your records. I actually think it's brave of a band to try something different, even if it doesn't resonate.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure where you guys stand on that, because this is definitely different.
Yeah.
Coming into Load, even from Black Album, you can hear some stuff from Black Album-esque where they went here, but by the time they got off the road for 4 years, they were different people. And James was in his songwriting going in a different direction. You had Kirk and going into his kind of like, I don't even know, like very. It's not goth, but it's very like moody, almost U2-y with the short hair, the lipstick or the eyeliner, the painted nails. He was getting into some different stuff. Lars really got into that vibe and wanted to change the look of the band. James wasn't on board. He was against it, but he played along because he's a team player. And he's spoken out against that recently, said he wished he would have kind of not went with that and stayed true to himself, because he felt like because when he goes back and sees pictures of himself during this era, he's like, that's like me trying to be somebody else or, to fit in. And so, but this album had no shortage of singles. There were 4 singles released off of this album, and quite a bit of, a little bit of a departure here a little bit. We have more songs in the album that were written involving Kirk than just James and Lars. So that's a little bit different as well, and that kind of maybe flows into how maybe some of the style of the music has changed a little bit, but they were all kind of going in different directions. You have a lot of different people lending their talents into making this album possible. The album went to number 1. Album sales, as far as like how many total, I'd be sitting here like trying to count up each and every single one. In the United States, it's at least 5 times platinum, so that's 5 million. In Europe, it's sold 2 million, and you could just add them up after that. So the album was a big hit. It reached the highest chart of 81 position on the U.S. Billboard throughout the decade. Like that was decade end chart. So like pretty big albums for them nonetheless, even with the change. So that's got to be liberating for an artist. Be able to succeed in trying something different with the Black Album. Come in here with this, which is really different. And it hits you right away with how different it is. And for it to still be successful, even if there are people who are like check out of like, hey, I'm leaving the Metallica train right now. But for that to still come off as being very successful, then to hit the road and still have sellout arenas, that's got to be very liberating for an artist to say, you know what, I can take risks and still succeed. So.
They definitely did, and Metallica has staying power. A lot of time, really an interesting turn of events. Metallica became more successful in the late 90s because people were learning about them because of the Black Album, falling in love with their older stuff, which was pushing them to the shows and actually witnessing it. So it was driving numbers more. And then with Load, people didn't know. You don't really have the internet that can tell you what the album's going to sound like or be like. So people see Metallica, fuck yeah, I'm going to buy it. I hope it's great. Oh, okay, maybe it's different. Some people bought on, some people didn't.
Another thing that was still kind of going on in the mid-90s was MTV and the music videos. And so they were in heavy rotation there as well. But we're going to dive right into this. We're going to get right in, and we're going to hit right off of track number 1. Now, as we've already said for the multiple time, it's like they always like to come in with a song that's either going to set the stage, get your blood pumping a little bit. But I don't think anybody could anticipate that the title of the first track would be "Ain't My Bitch." with writing credits for James and Lars here. We'll start with Dick. What are your thoughts about Ain't My Bitch?
The notes say, fun, chuggy riffs, a lot more bluesy. A departure from the Metallica sound, which is going to be a pretty steady note throughout my notes.
Pack that on all of them.
Yeah. Still a big sounding track, full sounding production.
Sure.
This is just another one of those songs that I discovered was a song I kind of already maybe heard. And I'm guessing it's because half this album may have been on like Monday Night Nitro. This song, like, what's this?
It's definitely WCW music.
For real. Yeah, just like that when he like it's so fast and heavy, and then it like when James goes down, you know, it gets a little softer. That's the part that I recognize for whatever reason.
Man, Ain't My Bitch. James, when you get into it, it has a really different sounding. It's still a kind of a heavy song, but it's the overall movement of the riff is like a little bit more twangy, which that's a few other songs on this album and the next one kind of share that. But the one thing that really stands out to me is the vocals. How James is more loose here. He's having more fun. The Black Album, he was dialed in. He's got to get a certain sound in certain ways. He's got to sound like the big epic, And here he's just like, you know what? I've got that. Now let's just let loose with it and have fun. And that's what I hear when I hear James sing on this. He's just like, if you watch Cunning Stunts, which was the tour done after this, like, they're having fun, and that's really what it's about. Nick, what do you got to say about Ain't My Bitch?
Ain't My Bitch. I really liked it. I thought it was a good first track. I like my first tracks to be, ass kickers, and it's kind of it gets you moving. The intro riff is sick. I like the 70s guitar solo. Sounds like a classic like rock solo.
Yeah.
And I wrote, I wonder who the lyrics are about, because he sounds like he's fucking pissed off at someone. Like, there's a bitch out there that goes, I'm that bitch. Like, that is me.
Absolutely.
I think that, interestingly enough, this is, again, one of those lyrical dualities where there is some of that in there. And then also, I remember from an interview James did years ago, Ain't My Bitch was them using another way to say, not my complaint. It's not my thing to bitch about. I don't have to care about it. It's not my worry, essentially.
That ain't my bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So
like
it has a cool duality to it that I think is really fun. My notes are pretty simple. You guys have covered a lot of it. The intro is really heavy and groovy. It is a slower song. The chorus riff does sneak some subtle thrashing in. If you listen with headphones in your Zune, just gonna slip it in there. Yes.
And make sure you got that royalty check.
Oh yeah, you know it.
If anyone is just going through these in a single day, and you guys are playing a drinking game about the
Zune drinking game.
By this episode, you're already fucked up anyway. So,
oh yeah, keep it going. I said the slide solo is new vibe for the band, which is very true. Nick talked about that. However, the chorus is definitely a memorable and jamming one. And then I love that the bass is really fun throughout. If you're really listening deep into the headphones, the bass is kind of playing whatever the fuck Jason wanted to, really. He's just kind of making shit up, and it actually works out kind of nicely. So yeah, I like the song. To just get into the rankings right out the gate, this is a 7.
7 from Nate.
Sure.
All right. Then Dick, hit me with your rank.
I'm going to go with 8.
An 8. Yeah. And Nick.
I gave it a 7 as well.
7. I gave it an 8. I really feel like this is kind of one of the forgotten openers. I mean, for all the other ones we've had, the big Blackened, Battery, Fight Fire with Fire, and Sandman, and maybe the next album one is also a heavy hitter that's a mainstay to this day in the Metallica catalog. This is one of those ones that gets it wasn't a single, it wasn't a hit. They played it live a little bit early on in those first tours, but it's one of those songs that they don't really play anymore today. and it's definitely like it sets the tone for the album for sure. To get it started, like when you first hear it, you kind of hear like, wait a minute, this isn't the Metallica that I really remember. I mean, granted,
Metallica.
Like you already looked at the back of the album when you got it, and like there's this whole line from like Jason Newsted, like when he's talking about it, it's like he's like, I can just imagine a kid getting the Black Album with the hair and the attitude, like this is my Metallica, and they get the next one, and on the back of them, they're all got short hair and in Cuban pimp suits, and it's like just completely different, and like, wait, what? But no, I gave that song an 8. A really cool song. The next song, track 2, 2x4, has Lars, James, and Kirk writing on this song. This time we'll start with Nate. Nate, 2x4, track 2.
By 4. Those fuckers. So if we kept with the trend, this should have been the name of the album, 2x4. Because every second album song, I think they broke that with Black Album.
Black Album, yeah.
Up and until then, they kept the same. My notes say,
to be fair, Black Album is a terrible song name.
You're right. Absolutely.
This song is called.
2x4 would be an excellent album name.
2x4 would be. But I mean, like, you know why they called it Load, though, right? Because it was supposed to be a double album. They were gonna do 30 songs on a 2 CD set. It was gonna be a load of song. It's like blowing your load into it, and that was gonna be it. But then, when they were in the studio, they were like, "Man, we're already in the thick of things. We still have so much more to do. We want to get back on the road." And so they decided to split it up, finish the songs that they had that were along further enough, save some for the next one, tour, and then they came back in and they finished up the remainder for Reload. So that's the story. That's why it wasn't called 2x4.
There you go. So I said in my notes, groovy is the new thrash, as in this is what they're accepting their fate as. They're in the groove era.
It definitely, this album is definitely groovy.
Heavy, but what the fuck is James singing about in this song? Like, I don't know. I literally laughed in my notes. I wrote ha 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 because it's so ridiculous. The lyrics of this fucking song. The chorus does make you headbang a little bit. Like, you kind of do get into it, you know, don't take no more, 2x4, whatever, right? Some of the change-ups are clever, just not my favorite by a long shot. The breakdown is Metallica on acid. Just re-listen to that and think about that. Like, Metallica on acid and that little breakdown they do there. It is very weird. The guitar tones are not signature them. That's my notes.
Nick?
I wrote that I thought the lyrics were awesome because it's just so it's funny. I like I don't know if it's like the lead into the chorus or the chorus, but the friction, fusion, retribution.
I like
that sound. That was like totally different. Like they've never done vocals like that. And I thought that was cool. And then the lead into the solo, I thought was really, really cool. And it had a sick solo in it. And I'm a sucker for solos, so I liked it.
You are the solo master.
Yeah, solo master hitting it in. You know, I will say that Kirk really did a lot of cool stuff on here, and you can say like maybe he fell in love with the wah-wah pedal on this album, or he did a lot of different things here than just thrashing out another solo. Dick, what do you got for me on 2x4?
I got Continuing Departure.
Mm-hmm.
Bluesy, a lot more simplified writing. Music seems a lot more upbeat. It's an all right song. Whereas, like, I actually prefer the first half of this album. This is probably my least favorite of the first half, I would say.
This song has segments for me that I really like. When upon my re-listen, I found it after "Ain't My Bitch" was kind of a high note coming right into this. Unlike the Black Album and maybe some other albums where like the track 2 kind of continues that right in, this next song was like a little bit of a pullback for me. So I kind of felt myself like not into it. So yeah, it's kind of not my favorite either. However, like Nick has said, I love that friction fusion part. It's got like very catchy, you know. So I'm gonna give my rank right off the top here. I gave this song a 6. Nate, What'd you give?
5.25, my friend.
You and your points.
I'm sorry, it's how I roll.
Nick.
6.75.
6.75. And Dick.
6.
Well, we're kind of all in the same little vibe in that little area, so that's kind of interesting. The next song also, we haven't hit a single yet. We're about to, but this next song is not one either. This next song is also one of the longer, like the third longest song on the album. The House That Jack Built, or The House Jack Built, with Lars, James, and Kirk again having writing credits here. The House That Jack Built. Nick, we'll start with you. Is there anything that jumps out to you right away with this one?
I really like this song. I like the intro, in the second section it leads into. I thought the way they did that was awesome. It was really eerie. I like the lyrics. I think the lyrics are super cool. In the guitar solo, he does this Frampton-esque
talk box, kind of a talk box.
That I really, really liked. I liked it. It was one of I really like this first whole half of the album. I think they came across strong as hell.
As I said, he really experimented with a lot of different things for the solos, and it was really the perfect time to do so if you're going to be changing up the overall feel of the band.
Just kind of throw it all in there, try to figure out what works.
Yeah, go in there, just do a bunch of different stuff. Dick, what'd you think about House of Jack Built?
I don't have a lot of notes for this one, but I'd have a couple things to say in my head if I remember. House Jack Built. It's slowed down. It's heavier. Lots of wah. Talk box.
Yep.
So yeah, after you said the Frampton talk box, I was like, oh sweet. I wasn't the only one that heard it. But I dug it too, and that's kind of I think I heard it kind of towards the end, maybe during the solo or something. But no, I love that the chorus, I believe, is the higher you are, the farther you fall. That part, I like that just windiness of it. It's like it's spiraling.
It's a cool groove that he gets with the lyrics, with that vocal. Yeah. And what I really like too is that when it comes into the last one, he goes into he brings up the octave a little bit. Instead of and so it's like he does it on some songs. There's another song that he does it where he sings it. It's the same thing. You've already heard it, but he sings it a little bit higher just to emphasize it that we're
from a songwriting and production standpoint. You have to. It's a crescendo. You got to make that final chorus really stand out. Just because it's got to be huge. You're closing the song out.
Yeah. Nate, what do you got for me?
I love this song. Honestly, I have always been a big fan of this song. First time I heard it, it hooked me in. The slow building intro explodes into again, we're going to use the word groove. It's the groove. It hits me. The groove hits me. James is very sinister sounding, and his vocals in this song set a mood. It's not just about setting the tone. He's setting a mood, and that's very important to note. The chorus is absolutely hands down in the entire catalog of Metallica, and I cannot stress those words enough, one of my all-time favorites. Just like you guys were talking about how it winds and builds and everything. Nick said something about the Frampton. I wrote Jovi, the Bon Jovi talk box, because that's where my brain went, because I was thinking, oh, they're fucking pulling off a Jovi move, which is still awesome because it's not expected, but it definitely fits the song.
A little bit more prominent than track 3 of the last album, where it's there, Holier Than Now, where it's there, but turned way down. And this one, they're like, no, all the way up.
Yeah,
sure, bring it on. Then after that, when they're going into that final chorus, Lars kicks into a halftime beat. He drops the tempo down, and that fucking slays me every time. I'm just there for it. This song is the song that just keeps building. No pun intended. Love it.
Cool. Awesome. So we'll go ahead with the rankings. Dick, what was your rank?
I'll go ahead with a 7.5.
7.5. Nick?
I get 7.25.
7.25. Nate?
8.
I gave the song a 7 as well. We're right in that little same area there. 7, 7.5, 7.25, and 8. We're building up. No, this song is a pretty cool song. It's a sleeper. It's a song that you're never going to hear them play live, probably. It's a song that, if you're just a casual fan and you're hearing them on the radio, you're never going to hear it on the radio. You have to literally load up, no pun intended, this album and hit play to even hear it, because you're just not going to get it. But the next one is our first single. We got our first single on the album, and this was the first single released in May 21st of 1996. So about a month and a half before the album came out, they dropped "Until It Sleeps" with James and Lars having writing credits. A very different sounding single from them to come off number one at the very beginning. Dick, what do you got for me on "Until It Sleeps"?
Okay, so what really sucks is, so I wrote my notes and I swore I would listen to the album one more time and write over my notes. I never got around to doing that because I pretty much only write my notes when I'm working out in the gym, and I didn't get to work out a lot. So, but my notes say, another slow one, stripped down until chorus. Chorus is catchy, memorable. I like. Adding on to that, this song has become like a tie for my favorite song on the album, because I just, listening to it again, or maybe it just out of the blue got stuck in my head while I was working and not talking to anybody. And so it gets stuck in my head. So I'm like, I got to hear it again. So I hear it again and I'm like, holy fuck, this song is awesome. I just love the lyrics. I love how the chorus slightly changes every time lyrically. Not much, but and then the whole "I'll tear me open, make you gone, no more can you hurt anyone." I just love like the personalness of this song, and like I can gush.
Yeah, man. A lot of these songs on this album were very personal for James, and that's something he's dabbled in, going into in the Black Album with "Unforgiven," "Nothing Else Matters," and stuff like that. But then here he decided to gonna dive into it a little bit further, and he was hesitant about putting those lyrics just right in the book for everybody to read. He wanted you to hear it from him, hear it from his voice. So that's why when you get the CD booklets or anything like that, you're getting snippets of handwritten stuff instead of just the actual full lyric sheet. So that's different. "Until It Sleeps," I like what you said, Dick, about it being about how it changes a little bit every single time, because that makes you pay attention a little bit more to what he's saying. And I love the intro. Again, like the vibe is different. The first
it's got that really cool, like almost like 70s.
Yes, yeah. Even with the way the song ends with that like little wow, it's almost very groovy 60s, 70s, but still Metallica. They're finding different ways, experimenting with different shit. That little bass intro, dum dum. It's really cool. I love it when they start songs off with the bass, because it really harkens back a little bit to the love of Cliff, even though this is Jason, and they do it a little bit again like later on with Rob as well. It's really cool stuff. But Nick, what do you got for me on "Until It Sleeps"?
I love this song. I have its the opening riff is amazing. The guitars during the verse, I really like what they're going for. The vocals are just awesome every step of the way. And I love the little guitar diddly in the middle of the song. That's what I can describe it. I thought it was a little diddly, not a solo necessarily. But I love this song. It's awesome. It's one that I don't think I'd heard before.
Really?
And it's definitely, I think it's probably my favorite track on the album.
It's awesome. This song definitely has vibe. It definitely vibes. Nate, what do you got for me on vibe? Do you vibe this?
Fucking jam. First line, fucking jam, because I love this song. Heavy and emotional. A gem of this era. Dick, you literally, the only lyric I have from this, "Tear me open, make you gone." You quoted that, so it's perfect. Nick said something about the little diddly. I put solo as basic but impactful, because like you said, it's not really a solo. It's just kind of a little guy there. The bass outro is awesome and moving, and I really love this song. Now quickly, to just go backwards just for a second, because I wanted to confirm something. The House That Jack Built, never been played live.
Okay.
Until It
Whoa.
Sleeps has been played 242 times live. All of this information, if you really want to go through while we're doing this and look at all the different songs they've played on tour, go to Metallica.com. You can go to their songs and lyrics section, and every song you click on will tell you whether or not they've played it after the lyrics are there, and how many times they've played it, and what shows that they've played it at.
It's so fun because you just said it's been played Until It Sleeps has been played 242 times. That's probably nothing to them. That's probably, and the amount of shows they've played is
that's less than a year of shows for them.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Maybe that'll be your thing, Nate. Whenever we do a song from now on, here we are, right in the smack dab middle of the discography. We'll go through. It's like we're changing stuff. We're adding new flavor. Here we go.
I mean, it could take some editing, but we could just reinsert
something.
Just little. Like we're talking, and then all of a sudden, and this song was played 100. And it just goes back, like the tone completely shifts. It's just
you're like, who the fuck said that even?
And now it's time for a tidbit.
It'll be funny, like if we just sat down and recorded like an hour of all those for the ones we've already done, and we just edited them in. And so like we're sitting there talking, and we just edited it, and it's like really awkward, and we're wearing different shirts, and
it's just absolutely jarring.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anything else on Until It Sleeps, Nate?
No, and I'll just because I think are we jumping right into rank right now?
Yep, that's it.
8.5, my brother.
8.5, Dick.
9.5.
9.5, yeah. Nick.
I wanted a 10, but I got criticized for that.
You rank however you want to rank, boo.
Rank them, man. These are your songs, man. Rank them.
9.5. I'm sticking 9.5.
Nick?
I gave it 8.5 as well.
8.5. Awesome. I gave this song a 9.
We're vibing, Nate. You and I are vibing on this album.
Telling you, man.
No, this song's awesome, man. And when you're thinking about songs on this album that can be singles that are going to bring people in to like let you know what this is about, but also think about length of song. It's like, when you're going to play something on the radio, do you want to do what they did with One when it first came out and cut parts of the song to make it 5.5 minutes instead of the 7 or 8? That kind of sucks. You're missing parts of the song.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Queen get double songs.
Right, yeah. Queen.
Right.
Like 10-minute epics.
And then Bohemian Rhapsody gets the whole playthrough, and yeah.
Which is I don't have, not that I take issue with that.
No, they're fucking Queen, but I mean
do that with Metallica too.
Well, and now they do. Now if they play One on the radio, it's the whole song, which is cool. But like even when they did the video version or single version of Saint Anger, they chopped that up and make it shorter. And it's funny because you would think that would make it better, but it's kind of jarring because where they put the chains ups and everything. It's kind of weird and that's just how that album and song
that's what you meant
was just written. But
I mean, spoilers. Let's not get into Saint Anger.
No. I was just for for looking at comparison. The next song is also a single. I believe it was the last single released in January 97. And it is, wait, is that right? Yes. King Nothing.
It's crazy to me that this is the last single on the album because it was like the only song I knew off this album.
This song has been the one song from the album, besides Until It Sleeps, that still gets radio play to this day. But
I knew it from Guitar Hero Metallica.
Sure, as you would. But this song was written by James, Lars, and Kirk, and is essentially Enter Sandman all over again.
Yeah,
from conception to song design to beat. It has an intro, the pre-thing, the main riff, the verse, the pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, solo, interlude where you would do the "Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, Be Careful What You Wish."
Wow.
Build back up into the outro, and then they end it in the last words.
They're like, "Off to Never Never Land."
James says, "Off to Never Never Land" at the very end. They literally basically pulled a Nickelback before Nickelback pulled a Nickelback and wrote Enter Sandman again. And it's also not the last time that's going to happen. We're going to get another one.
Oh yeah.
I'm never gonna hear the song the same again.
Well, and the thing is that you can. I actually love this song, and in a way, I actually like. I think the song is a better Sandman than Enter Sandman is. I think it's better written, and I think it's more creative. While they basically have on their whiteboard, like making how to make a song for dummies, Enter Sandman edition, and they just redid it and. But it works. It absolutely works. And it's one of my favorites on the album. When I hear this on the radio, which is still kind of rare to hear anything from the Load era other than Fuel on the radio, when I hear King Nothing, I get jacked. I'm like, yeah, King Nothing. Hell yes. And but it is one of my favorites on the album. We'll go with Nick. What do you got for King Nothing?
I loved it. The verses are super cool. I like the lyrical content.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's it's got one of the best solos on the album.
I agree.
Very sick solo.
Dick?
Big single to me. Fun song. Verse bridge is more Black Album Metallica.
Yeah.
It's got that really catchy main riff as well.
Well, yes, very catchy, but the fact that this was pretty much a resample.
Yeah.
This song is the most Black Album on the album. Like, and I mean, there's a reason for it, but
I might disagree with you on that one.
oh,
but
you think so? Later on, all right. Nate.
Yo, let's get into these notes. Literally, King Nothing in parentheses, Sandman 2.
Sandman 2.
In my fucking notes. I wrote it. It's there. Slow phaser fade in transitioning to the bass intro.
Bass intro.
Slaps.
Just like I
Fucking
said.
slaps.
Oh, no.
Heavy Sandman vibes, as we said. Fist pumper. Kirk is in the zone with these leads. He is dialed in and there, just like on autopilot, playing at his top notch. I wrote, "Where's your crown?" because that's one of my favorite fucking things in this song. It's so goofy, but it gets me every time. The bass breakdown really sets the song up, like to jump off a cliff for the ending. Like, not to be weird and morose about it, bass cliff ending, just saying. But and then off to Never Never Land at the end there. I love King Nothing. Again, to just mimic what you guys are saying about it, it is a fantastic track that I've always been a fan of, and this is a song that at some point when we're on a later album, this is going to be talked about as something that should have been done for that album from me. So anyways, that's all I got for King Nothing. Is it Dick's turn now?
Well, I mean, Dick already talked.
Oh,
but yeah. How many times has this song been played live, Nate? Do you have that thing up?
I do. Let me get it right now. Let's do it.
That's your job now.
Numbers.
Nick is solos. Okay. Mine is general information. Okay.
I'm 10.
Yeah. Yeah, he's that.
This number is pretty impressive. They've performed the song 356 times. However, they last played it in January of 2017. So it's been a while since they've played it. But 356 performances. They first performed it in San Francisco in 96, and their last performance of it was in Beijing, China.
Interesting. That's cool. Awesome. All right. So let's hit the
Nice.
ranks. The ranks. Dick, hit me with your rank.
Go with a 9.
9. Nick.
7.
7. Nate.
8.75.
7.5. I also gave this song.
Oh, no.
Brando, we've lost your audio, my friend.
You lost me?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was really weird. You went mute for a second.
I mean, am I still okay? Yeah, I mean, I'm still here.
You're here.
I'm recording on my end. I better be here. Damn it.
Good.
So yeah. Anyway, no. I also gave this song a 9. The song kicks. I love the bass intro. I love the solo. It's funny because a lot of people think about Kirk's lead guitar playing as like his heyday being in like the early albums, but I really feel like he's coming into a different version of himself here. That maybe he would kind of get lost in for a little bit before he would kind of reemerge as really being some true awesome leads. The next song, not a single, I don't think. Yes, it was. My bad. Second single, September of '96, "Hero of the Day."
All of their singles are in a pack, by the way.
Yes, they are, and you can actually put them all together to make an image or something like that.
Interesting.
Really cool idea to do that. But "Hero of the Day" is completely different. Another James Lars and Kirk written song. Coming out of the video for this song is really weird. The only thing I remember is like them being on like a Jeopardy style of set, and Newstead hosting Jeopardy, and like the other three members are playing Jeopardy.
Sounds very 90s.
Awesome.
And, well, and they did like it was like somebody watching TV, and they did like a bunch of TV little spoofs or whatever. But
I'm thinking Mallrats right now, like.
Yeah, this song is definitely different. It has a different feel. I mean, coming off. I mean, again, that word's been thrown out a lot. If you're doing a drinking game for the word "different" and "load," just on this episode, you're already like on the floor. But I like this song. I think it's kind of cool. It's got a different feel than everything else so far, even from like the kind of groovy stuff as before. Nate, we'll start with you this time. What do you got for "Hero of the Day"?
Beautiful ballad intro.
Mm-hmm.
The bass in this song is all over the place. Like, it does a lot of different things while still keeping the groove and the foundation of the song. I will say, go back and listen. Who the fuck is the third guitarist in the second verse of the song? Because there's definitely three guitars playing, and I know only James and Kirk play guitar. So how they pull that off live or whatever, a lot of questions and technicality there. I will say that there's a double time section in there, the "Now Your Dreams and Waking Screams," where it really kicks up there, is the heaviest so far and fastest on Load. It's where they it's like strange that's where they chose to like really go thrashy, but that's where they did it.
It was very weird.
Very positioned very strangely, but I like it. Really cool, but buried lead at the outro. If you listen, there's a lead that's happening and you can't hear it hardly at all unless you're listening with your Zune and your headphones. And I'm going to get you every time with that. It's pop. But that's all I have for notes. Yes. I love "Hero of the Day." It's a great song.
Nick, what you got?
I like the lyrics, or, heartfelt. I specifically wrote that the interlude to the solo is very strange, and the solo itself was lackluster. But overall, I did like the song. It was a total change of pace. But I liked it.
Dick?
So, going through all these albums, I'm kind of new to this. Is like the first new album for me.
Okay.
So as I've been going along, listening to Kill 'Em All, I'm basically listening in the order that if people were there from the beginning and stuck with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, there's obviously a giant drop off with this album, like you're not expecting it. And if you're wanting the heavy, like Master of Puppets, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Metallica, you're not getting it. And so like, coming off of Black Album into this, it was a giant drop off for me. But the more I listened to it, the more I really got into it. And like, this is one of those songs that I wasn't vibing the first couple times I listened to it, just because it's not my father's Metallica. But it's a soft song. It's still upbeat. And then it just kicks in out of nowhere. And it's got this really cool mixture of vocals and guitar production wise. And I really dug that when I wrote my notes for it.
Oh, I really love the vocals near the end of the song. Really cool way that they do that. I dig the song, but I also, a little bit of a little preamble for something that we're going to talk about later. It could be better. It definitely could be a little bit better. I feel like it reaches a certain point, and then it doesn't really get past that point. But I'll kick off the ranks this time. I gave it an 8. I think it's a pretty solid song. Up there, but could be a little bit better. We'll go with Dick. What was your ranking for this one?
I'm gonna go 7.5. I like Nate said, the double time part is really what does it for me in this song.
All right, we'll go with Nick next.
I gave it a 6.5.
6.5. Nate.
Nick and I are very different on this song because I gave this song a 9. This is one of my favorites on the album.
Well, I mean, we did get effectively a version of 6, 7, 8, 9. So, we're vibing it, but in a different way here. No, this song's pretty cool. But the next song is to come from like King Nothing, which was kind of a cruncher, not a super thrashy song. Of course, there's not much of that here anyway. Hero of the Day kind of brought us down, still kept the tempo up. This next song brings the tempo down.
1 second, though. 71 live performances, my friends.
Oh, for Hero of the Day?
For Hero of the Day. Just
Cool.
wanted to throw it out
Cool.
there.
Awesome. Thank you for that tidbit. I kind of forgot about it already.
It's okay. I'm trying not to forget about it. We started it midway through. We're going to abandon it 2 seconds later.
Before we move on, since we started it for House That Jack Built or House Jack Built, I keep saying House That Jack Built.
Sure.
But do you want to go back for Ain't My Bitch and 2x4 and do those as well?
Sure, just so we can have the completion of this album. They're right at the top here, so pretty easy to look at. Ain't My Bitch has been played a grand total of 174 times. Surprising that gets played more than Hero of the Day, actually. 2x4 has been played. Anybody got a guess?
20.
12.
Dick?
42.
Nick was standout closest, 10 total performances of 2x4. And the last one was in January of 2000.
Wow.
So they only played it in a small 5-year chunk a couple times.
I think it's for the best.
Probably.
At
this point, I tell you what, though, if I went to see Metallica live, and because every time Metallica, they like you go see them now, you know, you're going to get a cool mix of songs, but there's no way they're getting out of the arena without playing one Master of Puppets, Sandman. They have to, like, because there's going to be the people who went there that said, man, they didn't play Master of Puppets. They didn't play Sandman. I mean, I could go without seeing them play Sandman. That'd be fine. I know they're going to do it, but that's fine. But if I'm sitting there having a good time and all of a sudden I hear the dun 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 dun, I'm like, what? It would make me pop to hear 2x4 get played live.
Down and down and down out. You're like, oh shit,
because it would just be so different and unexpected. I would actually be into it. The next song, track 7, bringing the tempo down, and another. Man, this is a triad, a trifecta of writing credit here. James, Lars, and Kirk. This song is not a single. I had to double check
Shockingly.
myself. Well, it's also the second longest song on the album at 8 minutes and 18 seconds. This song is Bleeding Me, and as basically a ballad, but a different kind of ballad. It's kind of hard to just describe. It's a very personal song, to say the least. But I love this song. This song has a really cool vibe to it. It's kind of hard. It's kind of a hard song for me to just put on while I'm driving because the tempo is so slow. But it's one of those songs that once you kind of get a minute or two into it, then it kind of like you're vibing it. But we'll start with Dick on this one. Dick, what do you think about Bleeding Me?
So Brandon, I came to you at work kind of like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And I said, Brandon, I think I found a new favorite Metallica song. And you're like, what? You perked up and you're like, what's that? And I said, Bleeding Me. And you're like, dude, that is such a good song. Not to give away what you're about to say about it.
Sure.
No, I again, this is one of my, I'm listening through again, and it just caught my ear the second or third time I listened to it. And I'm like, whoa. And it's not even that the song itself, it's just like once the chorus kicks in, I'm like, whoa. Because it's just one of those notes that you hear when you hear it as it's entering into the chorus. It's like, oh, it sends chills down your spine. My notes say trippy guitar work in intro and verses, and just like again, it's just the way he's singing. It's like it's that very 70s vibe. And then real chill song starting out, chorus kicks in, and suddenly this is my favorite track on the record. Loves James's voice in the song. Chorus is huge. Vocal harmonies sound great. Super feely song, and I love it.
Awesome. Nate.
Okay. I've got here, this is a musical jigsaw puzzle. Especially in the verses. Everyone's doing something different. All the different stringed instruments are doing something definitely a little bit different. There's a hidden added layer of bongos mixed really, really deep. Again, headphones, listening device, you can really hear that. The bongos in there really buried, but cool buried. James singing about life on the road, possibly just like giving it all, I mean, they toured extensively after the Black Album. So Bleeding Me, Hold On to Wheels Roll, I Take the Leash, Bleeding Me, it can't stop touring to save his soul, because it's what's driving him to even be alive. It's a very personal song. The change about 5 minutes in becomes an infectious jam when it just switches on you. And the super wah-wah solo is awesome. Brilliant return to the intro for the climactic outro.
Oh man, that when they come back into it at the end with the distorted guitars and then playing that same riff again, and they just I like it because it as you said, there's a kind of a change, a tempo change, and like a mood change, and it comes out of that with that to just slowly slow it back down to drop right into that intro thing again. And then it's like, I'm digging my way. It's right back into it. I like it. Very, very artsy. Nick, what you got?
I love this song. Another one of my favorites. The intro is awesome. Has an awesome, sweet build-up. The lyric structure is unique in the verses, the way he builds it up.
Yeah.
I put guitar breaks are sick, mid-song breakdowns are sick, and callbacks are sick.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Pretty all right solo leads into a really slick multi-part solo. Because when you think it's gonna be done, it's like, no, dog, I got another solo coming, man. I was just warming up. I really liked it. Banger
material.
Certified banger. It has been played quickly 161 times. Last being played November of 2018.
Oh man, that's gonna be. See, that's recent too. I'll have to go and try and find that somewhere.
I watched that one of the nights that I was just binging live Metallica performances. I watched that song because, again, it was recently stuck in my head. So I was like, I wonder what this sounds like live. So I checked that out, and then I checked out the S&M performance.
Spoilers.
I can't wait to talk about S&M.
It's rank time?
It is rank time. We'll start with Nick.
I gave it an 8.
8. Dick.
Since it's tied with my favorite song, I'm going to give it also a 9.5.
9.5. Nate.
It's an 8.75 for me, my buddy.
I gave this song an 8 as well. It's really great song. Banger material, as that has been said. The next song, we have reached officially the latter half of the album. And
just do this for the rest of the album.
This part will be quick.
Well, okay, so track 8 is not a single. Has James and Lars. This song is called Cure. And we'll start with Nate this time. Nate, what are your thoughts on Cure?
It's never been played live. That tells you all you need to know. Baseline. Okay, this is my notes. I swear to God. It says baseline being audible is about only good thing about this song. Angular in an unenjoyable way. I don't need the Cure. Is this the end? Nope, still going. A minute and 22 seconds to go. What the fuck? I don't believe this.
All right, are we ready for ranking?
Nah, not yet. I just want to say I actually do like the riff, the that's the only part of the song I really like.
Okay.
because I really don't like the verse riff or anything like that. Nick, what do you got? Anything for Cure?
Nothing special. Lyrics don't interest me at all.
Dick.
Just boring.
Album takes a turn. Songs begin getting super dry and forgettable. Song feels like it belongs on a different, more boring album.
But it's not.
Probably should have been in the trash bin of the load songs, but
yeah,
here we are.
Here we are.
Song great.
Dick, do you want to start the rank?
5.
5. Nick?
4.
4. Nate?
The countdown continues. 3.
Wow. I was more kind to this song than I guess anybody else was.
You like that riff?
I like the riff, so I gave it a 7. Yeah. Highest
Double
rank.
thumbs down.
I will say a purely Metallica song. This is my lowest rated song.
Really? Cure is your
Higher
lowest rated one?
discography. I fucking hate this song. Like my notes say it all. That bass line being audible is the only thing I can get in. Even the riff, not my jam. And like I said, they didn't play it live ever.
Are you saying that riff is stock?
It is fucking stock.
Oh man, if you're a Metallica fan and you get that, props off to you. The next song, "Poor Twisted Me." This was another James and Lars classic here. Oh man,
Classic.
"Oh Poor Twisted Me." Honestly, this song is, to me personally, more forgettable than the last one.
Okay.
But maybe that's a good thing because but I don't know. We'll start with Nick this time around. You got anything for "Poor Twisted Me"?
Another completely forgettable track. Didn't stand out to me at all. It's the even uglier brother of Cure. It's just like, guys, why? You could have put these at the end or something. Like, why did you decide to throw the tracks in the middle of the album? But yeah, I'll just, spoiler alert, I am kind to the next couple of songs. I didn't just lose total interest, but those two are particularly just like awful.
Dick.
Poor me for having to listen to it.
Yes.
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 My notes say meh. Still bluesy. Not my Metallica.
Hashtag not my Metallica.
Okay, so for the notes I've got, my notes say ZZ Metallica ? Album filler. Eros Metallica? Identity crisis setting in on this song. That's all I wrote. It sucks so bad. It barely beats Cure. I gave it a 3.5.
How many times? Okay. How many times was it played live?
4 total times.
4 times.
All in 97 and 98. October 18th and 19th of 97, December of 97, and May of 98 are the only 4 times they've been played.
Dick, what's your rank?
My rank, I'm going to go ahead with a 6.5.
Thank you for not making me feel like I'm being too kind again.
I mean, I didn't love the song, but like I didn't hate it. It was just there.
It's forgettable. I almost made you rank. I almost typed in 66.5 for you.
That would have changed it up a bunch.
It would have been
Greatest Metallica song of all time.
Unpopular opinion here, folks. Nick, what do you got?
I gave it a 4 too.
4. All right, I gave it a 6. Yeah, and it's very forgettable. I feel like it's got a little bit better, even though I rated it lower than Cure. Man, I don't know.
Imagine if you would have put me down for 66.5 and Metallica just, for whatever reason, happened to come across this whole series. You're like, holy shit, Poor Old Twisted Me is is their highest rated song. What is wrong with these people?
I know, it's like
We got to play this more.
They might not even remember the songs.
But also, Metallica, if you're listening, call us.
Right.
We'll continue to.
the next song is also not a single. The song is called "Wasting My Hate." James, Lars, and Kirk. This is the shortest song on the album. And that's a good thing for us because we didn't have to listen to it that long. This song isn't terrible, though. I do remember back in the days of Ye, when I was but a small wee lad, and riding in the car with my friend Jason, we would jam to Metallica a lot, and he loved this song. He loved the little intro, the down, 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 and then the way that he sings the intro is he loved it. I don't know why he loved it, but I got a kick out of the fact that he loved it and the way that he would sing it while he's driving along. Good day. So I have good memories of the song, but not because of the song itself. Well, maybe the song itself because he liked it. The song is about, I don't know, I can't remember. It was a story that James had heard about another artist, somebody he had met, about how he was sitting in a diner and some guy, he was sitting at a diner with somebody eating dinner or something, and this guy was like outside the window, like, and this guy thought that he was staring at him, like the guy who was sitting there thought this guy outside was staring at him, and he started getting pissed, like, why do you keep staring at me? So he goes out there to yell at the guy, and it turns out he wasn't even staring at him at all. Like, I don't know if he was waiting for something else or he was looking at something else, or maybe he would have been blind. I don't know. But then he gets back in. He's like, man, I just wasted my hate on that guy, you know? So that's kind of what inspired the song. But I'm going to throw it to Nate. Nate's going to lead this one off. What do you got for Wasting My Hate?
This song is a bit thrashier, faster tempoed than most of the album, actually. Really, even though it like grooves, it's still faster. Lars seems to be having fun. Lyrically, it's relatable, which I do enjoy. The transition to the final verse is super aggressive, and I enjoy the sudden ending of the song. That's my notes. I will say, my notes also say wasting my hand, not hate. I wrote wasting my hand. I think I was thinking all within my hands, and I wrote wasting my hand.
Maybe it was a waste of your hand to write these notes.
Yeah, it probably was.
How many times has it been played live?
Exactly 100 times.
Wow.
That is
You guys
actually
were not
surprising.
expecting that at all. I know. I knew I was going to
You
shock
know, I mean, it's a quick song.
Yeah, it is a pretty quick song. Dick, what do you think about this one?
All right, my notes say cool, racy riff. Sounds lacking production-wise. Not wasting my hate on this half of the album. But as I pulled up the lyrics for it, just to kind of jog my memory of it, it does have notes on the actual song itself. It says, this song was a favorite choice of the San Francisco Symphony, but it was dropped from the S&M set list just days before the show. This song was only played live during the Poor Touring Me tour. The first time was on September 6th, 1996 in Vienna, Austria.
My notes can confirm that.
The fact that this was almost on S&M entertains me greatly.
It actually kind of hear it in my head, like how the strings would be going. That'd be cool.
Nick, what do you got?
Perfect.
It's somewhat catchy. And I love the line, waste my like better to give than receive. I thought that was so funny. Like, I'd rather hate than be hated, motherfucker. Yeah, it's an all right song.
All right. Nate, we'll start back with you. What's your rank for this one?
7.25.
Dick.
Let's give it a 6.9.
All right.
Nice.
And you're like, I am not giving this thing a 7. I'm not going to do it. Nick.
I gave it a 5.
5. I gave this song a 7. Probably just sheer I got to sheer nostalgia. It's not a terrible song. It's pretty quick. It's yeah, everything that's already been said. about wasting my hate. Wasting my hate. The next one though, we are on a single. This is the third single released in November of '96. And they did a video for it, which is very interesting. This is James and Lars at it once again. This is Mama Said. And this is there's a couple of ballady type songs on here, but this is a fucking ballad.
Yeah.
And this is probably, if I just had to like throw it out there for him, probably the most personal of songs for James. This song has to cut deep. And I've actually watched him play it live by himself with just an acoustic guitar. So it's like, that's kind of cool. But this is one of my favorite songs in the entire album. It's different. It's got a more of a twangy guitar or a country type feel. Outlaw. This is kind of where like, James has made appearances like on like some Outlaw live stuff on CMT or whatever. And I kind of get that he kind of started that around this era, and this song when he was writing it, it was just a completely different feel and what he was vibing. And it's definitely one of my favorites. But we'll start with Nick on this one. What do you think about Mama Said?
I dug it. I've had written right there. It's got that country feel.
Mm-hmm.
I like the lyrics. I don't know if it's a song that like if I go back to listen to Load, I don't know if it's a song I would seek out. But yeah, I liked it. It was another different one.
Yeah, for sure. This whole album was just them trying on different pairs of shoes to see what fits and what works for them. And Dick, we'll go to you next.
Well, adding to what you just said, like how they were just trying on different shoes and seeing what fits. Like, there's a lot of stuff on this album that you will see throughout the rest of their discography that they do. I mean, especially with like James's lyric writing. Musically, they definitely take a turn back to they take a more modern approach to their thrash metal of the 80s and Black Album later on. But anyways, so I said not a bad ballad, not their best. Like Nick said, it's not something I would seek out on this album. In terms of their ballads, like, I'm sorry, this song doesn't hold a candle to like Unforgiven or Nothing Else Matters. But again, like you said, it's super personal. I'm sitting here reading the lyrics, which is my first time reading the lyrics, and I'm really connecting with them in the way he's kind of you can tell he clearly loves his mother, but he sees the negative that was instilled in him of it. What else? It's an okay song to me. James's voice is great.
Well, it's like he kind of ran away from that, or like his mom died pretty young, and he kind of like rebelled against that nature. And then as he got older, and would kind of outgrew that immaturity or whatever, it was kind of understanding life more. And then he's looking back, and kind of wishing he could have, his mom there to talk to her or just whatever, but he can't because the only thing left there is just a headstone. So it's pretty deep shit. I saw this is probably released like a year or two ago. They were doing something, and they were asking some of the members of Metallica some questions like, who would you love to jam with, or who would you love to have dinner with? And it's funny to hear like Lars like, oh, I'd love to have John Bonham or some some of these like dead music legends or something like that. And James's answer was his mom and dad and Cliff. And he's like, because they're not here anymore. It's like I would love to be able to sit down, eat, and talk with them.
James always has like the most interesting answers when in interviews, I think. Because I mean, what you told me about how he does the meet and greets, how he prefers to, he doesn't want to talk about himself. He wants to meet the fan. He's like, I want to know about you. And I've always found James super interesting like that.
He's also the kind of guy that if you see him out and about with like his kids or family, he doesn't really like, he doesn't like the, hey, will you come up and take a picture with me and sign this thing? I
never took him as that type.
Well, he doesn't really like that. But if you go up to him and just say, hey, dude, I really appreciate you, and shake his hand. It's like, I'm a longtime fan. he'll actually he will accept that. He's like he's into the more personal, like come up and say something to me. Don't just ask for a picture or an autograph. It's like I assume that maybe after he talks to you and vibes with you, maybe he'll say, "Hey, do you want a picture or something?" You know, maybe it just depending on how he's feeling or how much is taken out of time of his day. But
Yeah.
no, he's a different kind of cat. He's a different kind of rock star. Nate, Mama said,
Yes, brother, it's my turn. Okay. Full acoustic intro with haunting vocals. Absolutely love it. It's a very sad song. Like it can get you right in the throat. You guys all said it, but I put pretty much a country hit. It would have been like top on CMT easy. I also said should have been on a James solo album.
That would have
which
been
is
cool,
something
Oh yeah.
needed to happen. I think.
still wait for that album.
It probably won't. They're too dedicated, and after kicking Jason out for seeking something similar to that, they can't, become what they said they didn't want to be a part of. The bridge is super powerful. This song is great. It's just not textbook Metallica.
the part of the song I love the most is coming into the last verse where he's like singing with a different force, like "Mama, now I'm coming home," and instead of like the regular verses, and then he ends it with the cold stones, all I see, and then it dies down and brings back in with the let my, and it's really well done, really cool shit. But Nate, we'll start with you with the rank this time, my friend.
8.
Dick.
I'm gonna go with 7.5.
7.5, not 75. Nick.
I gave it a 5.5.
5.5. I gave the song a 9. It's one of my favorites on the entire album. I love this song. Up next, not a hit, not a single. Thorn Within. Does anybody remember this song?
My notes.
I have notes.
Okay.
My notes say forgettable track.
Not letting you guys see my notes.
It's not. No.
Mama Said was played twice.
Oh, thank you, Nate. And one of those times was just him by himself, I'm pretty sure. In fact, they both might have been just that. Him playing it by himself. I don't even think they've done it on the acoustic shows that they do yet, which would be awesome. But Thorn Within, I got nothing. This song does nothing for me. It's a song they tried, they made it, so I'm not gonna be hateful of it. The thing is that if it's a song that I actually don't like, that's when I'm gonna give it a low rating. But if I can listen to it and it's like it was there, I mean, does anybody have anything to say? I mean, we have notes. Nick has nothing. I got nothing. How about you guys? Let's start with Nate first.
Thorn Within. I put Struggle Within 2. It's track 12. The word within there. Similar. Is it accidentally a callback? Did they even mean to fucking do that? Main riff is catchy. I do kind of dig this song. It's moody and it gives me some sad but true vibes, but that's really all my notes have.
Dick?
Well, if you would have saw my notes, you would have saw the title Thorn Within with a dash to separate from the title from the notes, and then nothing. I apparently didn't write any notes for this song. And I'm sitting here looking at the lyrics, and I'm having a hard time remembering this song at all. I'm trying to think of how the music
Forgive
went.
me, Father, for I have sinned.
Is
Wow. Musically, it fits in with the album.
Yeah, it had a lot of wah, right?
Yeah, but they've already done songs that have incorporated this style and things that they've done, and those songs are better. So
Is this that song that had that really slow drawing wah, wow? I don't know. Thorn Within. Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
All I gotta say about that.
7.5 is my rank.
Well, how many times has it been played live? Nothing?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
Nope.
7.5 is Nate. Nick, what was yours?
I gave it a 5.
5. Dick.
I'm gonna go with 5 because I don't remember it.
5. I gave it a 5 as well. Gave it a 5 as well. The next song, Ronnie. Ronnie, track 13. I don't think I said Thorn Within did have James, Lars, and Kirk. This is James and Lars with Ronnie. Again, not a single. We're all done with the singles now. Ronnie is an interesting song. It tells a story of this character, and I always like songs that do that instead of just like writing how he's feeling or whatnot. That like when you hear of like just throwing it back like an old Johnny Cash, A Boy Named Sue. Song that just tells the story, or The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Even it tells a story about that happening. Ronnie's the same way. It's catchy. The guitar riff is really weird, but I like it, and I love the chorus. The chorus is catchy as hell to me, and that's about all I got to say about it. How about Dick? We'll start with you on this one. What do you guys say about Ronnie?
Again, the notes stopped at Thorn Within title. I just didn't get a chance to continue writing notes, but I remember telling you at work that this was probably one of my least favorites. Upon listening further, it grew on me because it does have that super catchy, twangy blues riff. I would say this is probably so far one of the least Metallica sounding Metallica songs I've ever heard.
As we already said, the last half of this album is very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting because it does almost feel like two different sides of the same coin. Nick, you got anything about Ronnie? Nothing?
It's got a cool opening bit and catchy riff. I dig it, but it's nothing special.
Yeah.
It's not one I'll seek out, but I don't actively despise it like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of dig it. It is a cool song. It's not one that I will just go, I want to listen to Ronnie today. But if it pops up on, if I've got shuffle on and it pops up, I'm like, hey, if I'm in the vibe for it, I won't skip it. Nate, do you have any notes?
Yeah, it says happy with, it's heavy with now a more common topic. You know, when they wrote the song and they're talking about a kid shooting up a school and all that, like that topic was kind of taboo and still not happening all over the country. Now it's just like, okay, a school shooting. Yep. It happens all the time. It's common occurrence, which is really fucked up to even say, but you know, they were on top of it talking about a topic that was, you know, at the forefront of what was to come. Lyrically complex. It's a toe tapper. And musically, it's very simple. Those are my notes.
Okay. How many times has this song been played live?
Goose egg.
Goose egg. I already knew the answer to that one.
How can you write songs that you don't play live?
Great question. I love
That's
that.
wild.
Well,
yeah.
Even once.
Well, and honestly, I think the thing is that once you've been a band at the high level of this, and you're on your 6th album, you're gonna play the singles here, maybe a couple other ones, and other ones really don't make the cut. But then you've always got to call back to your Master of Puppets, to your
like
Fade
at
to
this point,
Blacks
in a 2-hour set, which I'm sure they were doing 2-hour sets by this point. Like you can't fit everything in.
And the Black Album was just
You
5
could have done
years.
it the one time.
Well, one time, right? Yeah.
One time. Right when you released the album.
You could have played Wasting My Hate 99 times and just played Ronnie one
Once,
time.
yeah.
Just one.
Never have to play The Cure.
Never.
A while
That
back,
should have been in the garbage bin.
I would delete that one.
delete that. On the 30-year show, they did 4 days of shows at the Fillmore, and they played 89 songs in 4 days. And the only song
Didn't put Ronnie in.
yeah, well, and the only song that they repeated each night was the ending. They ended with Seek and Destroy every night. But they brought in, they played a bunch of different songs. They started each night with a different instrumental, which they have 4 of main instrumentals, right? And they did say, James like, hey, see if you can guess this one. With this song we'd never played before. Someone said like, that one. He goes, no, we're not playing that one. You know? And then, yeah, he said, like, and Ronnie, no, it's good. It's close, though, you know? So, yeah, I'll start with the rank here. I gave Ronnie a 7. Nate, what'd you give Ronnie?
6.75, my dude.
6.75. Nick.
You're 6.
6. And Dick.
6.5.
Did you just say dicks and a half?
That's what it sounds like.
6.5.
Okay, yeah, I had to like back that up. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Dicks and a half. That is it. That's a new ranking.
My ranking.
New ranking here. And
Metallica gonna look at this and be like, dicks and a half. What the fuck is that?
All right, guys, we've reached the last song.
Yay!
The final song on the album, The Outlaw Torn. Not a single. James
Should've
and
been.
Lars. Longest song on the album, 9 minutes, 49 seconds. They actually had to cut this song down.
There's an alternate version called the unencumbered version.
It's on one of the singles, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Because the total album length is 78 minutes and 58 seconds. This is a long boy.
Mm-hmm.
This is long. And they had to cut it down. And at the end of the song where they have kind of this jam thing, The Outlaw Torn is a very interesting song because it is a favorite of mine, but it's a hard song to want to listen to due to the length of it. It takes a lot to get into it on the album version, for sure. And while it definitely jams and has some cool shit in it, man, it's not one I actively seek out all the time. I don't know about you guys, but let's start with Nick on this one.
I like the intro, and the build-up was really good. The interlude leading into the solo was sick, and it was a very cool solo. I specifically really liked the last bit of lyrics. If I close my mind in fear, please pry it open. My faith becomes sincere, beware. I really, really liked that. It was a good one. I thought it was a strong finish.
It is a strong finish. To me, though, it's hard sometimes to want to listen to this anymore because I've heard it a lot in the past. It's just a long one because it's kind of like slowly builds up, and it's kind of like the Bleeding Me thing where it takes a minute for you to where you're feeling finally in the groove. If I'm driving along, Outlaw Torn comes on, and I'm like, I don't
know if I have time to get into this.
Yeah, it's like by the time I'm wanting to listen to it, I'm gonna have to sit in the driveway to finish the song. You know. Dick, what you got for me on Outlaw Torn?
I listened to this officially last night because it was just when I finally was able to actually get to it, and I remember Nate posting lyrics on his Facebook a while back for this song, and I was like, man, this song must be a really good one if he's posting the lyrics to it. Just nobody really does that anymore, Nate. No,
I don't give a fuck. Fuck your rules, Facebook.
I say that being like the most guilty party of doing that, even up until like a few years ago. Yeah, Nick knows. Like, you go through my memories, like especially back in like 2008 and maybe 2010. It was like that's all I posted was song lyrics that I loved. But no, this all I really have to say, other than this is a great song, is because Nick already pointed out the one part I was going to bring out, and if I close my mind in fear part. I love that part. But the only thing I really have to say is this is probably the best finishing song that in 4 albums. This is a song we should have had on the Black Album. This is a song we should have had on And Justice for All. Not maybe musically, but in terms of quality.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awesome, Nate.
Excellent.
Okay, so I have lots of notes here. I said Orion vibes musically in the intro. Okay, just it really it has it. It really does. It's there. Nice to hear more bass leading the charge, because the bass is kind of really at the forefront musically of what they're doing, even though it's not the leader. Big and epic again. Powerful, atmospheric perfection. Again, your listening device, your headphones, you can get sucked into that song.
We know what you're saying when you're saying listening device, Nate.
Your coded language.
I'm just saving the drunkards who are fucked up at this point from the amount of zunes they've heard. Oh shit, there's another one.
That one was plural, so
yeah, true. James truly belting from the heart. Yeah.
Dunez.
The chorus gets me every time. That's why I posted those lyrics, because lyrically I connect with that on such a deep level. The bass lead breakdown is the precursor to a really wild solo section, you know, that builds back up. And actually in the unencumbered version, that section is a little bit longer, is actually where some of that was cut, is in that little build there. The bass breakdown with the fade up and guitars going down, the down guitars leading into the groove at the end is epic. This song is, looking at my notes, I'm pretty sure the highest rated for me on the album, and it is. Yep.
Nice.
9.25. Man.
Awesome. How many times was it played live before we move on to everybody else?
So this number is surprisingly low at only 16 total performances, 4 of which were during the S&M sessions. So
yeah,
taking those away, it's only really been played 12 times.
and they played it live last year before S&M. They played it. They brought it out live last year,
August 25th. Yep,
Yep,
a week
kinda
before they did S&M.
kind of like
In
dusted
Germany,
off.
no less.
Yeah, they dusted it off a little bit and like, all right, let's get back in the groove of this one. Try and figure this one out. This is a long one, guys. All right, so I gave the song a 9 as well. It's really, it's been said, a great closer, really cool vibe with this one. Dick, what was your rank?
9.
9, and Nick?
I give it a 7.
7. Riding it a little bit lower there, but still a damn good song to end the album with. And that is it, guys. We have
I can
reached-
already tell you guys, this is going to be the lowest album we have ranked, I'm guessing. Has to be.
It may be. It was so far it is. Yes, so far it is. So
fucking what?
Later.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Anyway, my average rank was 7.5. Nate's was 7.17. Dick's was 7.38, and Nick was 6.25.
Wow.
And that
Wow.
gives us a master rank of 7.07. That ranks it just below Kill 'Em All, which I believe is at like a 7.25. Yes. No, 7.57. So 7.5 there.
So substantially lower, but still.
Yeah.
Especially when you're splitting hairs at points of percentages when
Sure.
we get here towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But as we said, the first half of this album kicks and then it drops off. And that's kind of where some of the rankings for this kind of drug it down a little bit, was just from track 8, it took all the way until like, hey, this one has a few more, and then this one has a few more, this one has less, and then we finished pretty strong here. But overall, I feel like Load is a pretty strong album. Got some really cool tracks here. They tried a lot of different stuff. Yeah, some of it worked, some of it doesn't. But I commend them for trying something different, because it's so difficult to be afraid to alienate fans. Like, it would be like, it's like a much different thing if you're like a smaller band in an area and you come out with a whole new look and feel, and then everybody who came to the bar or the small venue to see you is like, what the fuck is this? I can imagine that, Nate, that's what that's what it was like when we saw that one band up in Chicago, Power Fest, that was local Chicago for all those years.
Rise and Ruin, bro.
No, not that one.
Oh,
not that one. No. It was a
Okay.
different. There's something Ion or something like that. You remember that?
yeah, I do.
And they got a new
I
lead
do.
singer. They were debuting the new lead singer. They've been gone for a couple of years, and the new lead singer came out, and people were like, "What?" And then it was just over. They lost the crowd for about 2 bands after that. It was pretty bad.
Oh yeah, they did.
But overall, Nick, what do you think about Load?
I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't have a whole lot of expectations because I've only really listened to sprinklings of the second half of Metallica's discography as a whole.
Yeah.
Load wasn't one that I'd really listened to a whole lot. And I was very pleasantly surprised. I remember working my way through it and saying, like, there's a couple songs on here that I'm definitely coming back to, that are definitely going to start to be put into regular rotation. It was great. It was a fun experience. I'm glad it gave me hope for the rest of the discography to get in and listen to albums I haven't listened to very hard, and find gems from a band that I love so much.
Well, and that's a really good part of doing a project like this, to give you a chance to do that, because you can get a preconception about what an album like it has. It's like, oh, that album's not very good. They changed this, or even going into something like Saint Anger later, like, oh man, I heard that album just sucks. Everybody shits on it, but there might be one or two songs on there like that one though. That one.
And when you add all those up, they've got such a big discography. Yeah, you get 2 or 3 songs on an album, and next thing you know, you like a whole fuck ton of songs that you never even heard before.
Exactly, Dick. What do you think about Load?
Just like Nick said, it was a surprise for me. Coming in, I was disappointed. Besides the couple songs that I knew, which is pretty much King Nothing and maybe another song. And then it was just Mama Said was the other song. And but the more I listened to it, the more it grew on me, and the more I really just fell in love with, especially with Until It Sleeps and Bleeding Me, and then Outlaw Torn. Just fell in love with those 3 songs. Great album.
Nate?
Better than I originally thought.
Awesome. Nate?
I really connected with this album because in my journey of Metallica, I was soaking up everything from S&M backwards all at the same time. So a lot of these songs really are in the fabric of why I love Metallica so much, because they're a very versatile band. Like I said a couple episodes ago, or last episode or whatever, how they're like baseball. Sometimes you hit home runs. Sometimes you have to bunt the ball. Sometimes you need to strike out to win the fucking game. And Cure struck out. But overall, the album is still very special and fun to me. I will say, to kind of like look at the bigger picture, if I was Metallica, I would have taken everything that was great on Reload, all the songs that were great on Load, and had one album instead of having a lot of filler between those 2 albums that don't hit as hard. If we would have had like, if you took Fuel, Memory Remains, Unforgiven 2, and added it with the first half of that album up and then through Bleeding Me, with the exception of adding Outlaw Torn, you would have a home run bestseller. Because there's very little on Reload, not to spoil that, but that really hits as well. So I think that they, had a great idea wanting to do a double album. Oh, Kiss did it, and other people have done it, but sometimes the execution is key. Execution wasn't quite here. But yeah.
So in my Metallica journey, I went from Black Album, started there, and then I went, and on Christmas I got S&M and Kill 'Em All. Very different. When I first heard Kill 'Em All, I'm like, what is this? This sounds terrible. And then I got my fourth one was Master of Puppets. I went straight to there. Got Master, because I love Master of Puppets on S&M. And then the next album I got was Load. So I'm like bouncing all over the place.
All over the place, yeah.
So this album got a lot of heavy rotation during that early era, because it wasn't like Spotify or now where you could just go on and get it all. I didn't have internet. I was just like, when can I get new CDs? And I would ask, can I get a CD? No. Oh. But when I did, I was slowly picking up the entire discography. So,
if you had internet, you could have had Napster. So
I will say one last thing that was kind of special about Load.
What's that?
It's the first album in Rank 'Em All history that did not receive a single 10.
You are correct.
There is 0 10s on this album.
You are correct. We have kind of
there's some bangers. There's some good ones.
I was shamed last time.
Well, and the thing is that there could be a couple on here that I can almost convince myself, depending on my mood, that's a 10.
Yeah.
The ones that I did give 9s, I didn't do any points systems on this one, so maybe on a certain day, one of those songs could be a 10, but I just wasn't feeling it when I rated it, and I go and looking back through it, I feel pretty confident with what I gave them, especially knowing with some other stuff that's coming up. So if that's it, guys, we're going to wrap this one up and bring her home. Thank you guys all once again for joining us here for Rank 'Em All, and thank you to Nick Maxon and Dick Tyner and Nate Phillips once again for coming on here, diving deep into some Metallica. We'll be back at you once again here soon with the next album. But man,
for our listeners, it'll be like next week or whenever.
Next week, or maybe this has already been out and you're just finding it for the first time. But
totally.
But definitely, we're gonna be back at you again here soon. So with that being said, this has been Metallica's Load. For Nick Maxon, Dick Tyner, Nate Phillips, I've been Brandon Stone, and we are not done yet wasting our hate on some of these lesser-known gems of Metallica's discography. Until next time, guys, We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you then. Later on, guys.
Yeah.